This is a video that was very difficult to get going, to think about. There's no real planning. I just kind of set my alarm and headed out this morning, not in time for any sunrise photo shoot or anything like that, but I had to do this. I don't know if I'll post this or not. I think I will, but the title suggests creativity and grief, and I haven't been very active lately. My father passed away in mid-January, and it hit me really, really hard, for all kinds of reasons. We were close without being close. I don't know if that makes any sense. It does to me in my head, but I'm hoping that my rambling and my hemming and hawing and pausing and looking around doesn't get too distracting. But I'm kind of processing this still a couple months later and working through it. And it occurred to me that maybe talking about it, maybe posting this, I'm still not sure, can help just one other person deal with grief, and the way that possibly ties into creativity. I have not been very active lately. Maybe, yeah, depressed, working through it. I've been maintaining my walks in nature, and still working toward my 1,000-mile goal this year for accumulated miles for walking and hiking. But I haven't really taken my camera out of the bag much at all since. I did go down to, my parents live in Florida on the coast, and I went down after my mom had given some time to deal with people and paperwork, and we did some self-isolation, still having to deal with quarantine, being safe. So I went down almost a month ago now, and I did wake up one morning to go shoot sunrise at a jetty. Can't think of the name of it right now, and I really did enjoy that. I didn't do any video. I thought I was going to, and I just didn't. I did use my camera one other time. My daughter had a tree climbing party at a state park where you get all geared up, helmet, wraps, climbing, ascenders and everything, and that was fun. And that was an outdoor activity, so I used my camera there, and that was fun to get those shots for those memories. But as far as heavy nature, not really. And I don't know if I just don't know why. I am extremely happy doing that. And so I've walked, I've driven around thinking, trying to figure this out. I have no idea where I'm headed with this discussion or this video, but I hope I can try to bring some clarity. Just a little bit about my dad. He was 79. Grew up in the 50s, a product of the 50s, I guess. Old school, in a way of, he's the oldest of 7, and the oldest, 1, 2, 3, there are 4 brothers, 3 sisters, and many years between him and the youngest. possibly 20 at least, maybe. But really, really, I want to say down to earth, but hardworking, earned the respect of anybody he came across. He was the equivalent of he was a superintendent for a general contractor, but basically performed the job of somebody who had a civil engineering degree. He didn't have the degree. He started with a shovel in the ditch, worked his way up, went to a little bit of night school, and became a foreman. Eventually helped build the company from 10, 15, 20 guys to 100, almost 150. Earned the respect of everybody, everybody, and that always stuck with me. It was pretty amazing to see, because I ended up working for the construction company, and the boss's son, and so I had to prove myself that I wasn't just receiving a handout. There was no narcissism at all. I had to bust my butt and prove that I could work alongside everybody else and be part of the group, and even pick on the circumstances. It was a great 10 years of my life out of high school. And then he retired, early 60s, I think. And then that didn't last very long, and he went to work for another small firm in the same area, family run, and helped that company grow from about maybe 30 or 40 to double in size before he officially retired. Probably, I guess officially, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where he stopped receiving blueprints in the mail in Florida from upstate New York. But yeah, so there's me and my younger brother, a little over 2 years apart. My mom is still down in Florida, and I really don't know where I'm going with this at the moment, but wanted to just talk about him a little bit. Some people walking by. So as far as grief, I've had to deal with it before in my life. I'm 53 now. My father-in-law passed 4.5, almost 5 years ago, and that hit me hard too, because I've been married. I've been with my wife. Well, I'll get this wrong. 25, 26 years now. Not married, but we've been together that long, and so I've known him in the family for that long. He moved down in the nearby many years ago, and so my wife's family moved down, mother, father, grandmother, sister, and so that was the people I saw almost daily, and worked on projects, and he was knowledgeable and helped out with that. So that hit me hard when he passed away, and that was a sudden thing, really just a handful of weeks before people realized how bad it was. The plane. My grandfather had passed when I was 17 or 18-ish, somewhere around there. I'm not good with dates, but I was younger. I don't know what that means. I was close to him too, but that's not apparent. So, we're at that age where you and your friends are experiencing this. We've had our best friends have lost parents not too long ago, and you try to comfort and do what you can, but yeah, the creativity aspect of dealing with grief. I didn't do any research on this. I didn't want to come into this with any preconceptions, or you're always familiar with stages of grief and stuff like that, but it basically sapped that type of motivation from me. I can say the first few weeks didn't do much, kind of zombie-like, wandering around, hitting you harder, comes in waves. I was expecting that, but then I knew there'd be a downtime, and in fact I did a video about my first 3 months, and there's some microphone PA behind me, and I thought that I kind of expected some time of not doing a whole lot, but that kept week after week, and I kept telling myself and my friends, my brother, and I got to get a video out this week, and it didn't happen. I would go on walks, but I wasn't going to destinations, and the camera bag just sat there. So I guess I kind of hoped to find some way to work through grief with photography, with art. I didn't write anything, no poems. I thought a lot. I did my walks, got my miles in, but didn't take a photograph. So I'm hoping to change that. Starting to change that. As soon as I realized I wanted to do a video of this type, where I talked about my dad, about grief, and about creativity and photography, I felt a little different. There was some level of purpose that I was feeling. So I knew I was going to do this, talking to the camera right now. I set my alarm. First time I've set my alarm this early. I didn't get here. You did not see that. 2 bright colored cardinals just flew right past the camera. Behind the camera. But as soon as I started thinking about turning the GoPro on again, I wouldn't call it a level of excitement, but it was a level of purpose is a good word. I knew it was going to happen, and it took a few days. It took a while, but oh, is there a race going on in the lake? I don't know. Oh, they're rowing, they're crewing. I don't know if that's a verb, but they're out there. There's a guy with a megaphone out on the water, so I'm not gonna wait for them to go past, but we'll just have to deal with that in the background, I guess. Maybe you can see it, I don't know. So it feels good to be listening to the birds, regardless of the megaphone. I am at Fort Yargo State Park. It's not too far from my house. It's got a large body of water, lots of trails, hiking trails, biking trails, and talking about setting the alarm. Sorry. It was different this morning because I knew where this video was headed, or I knew what I was going to talk about, and so there was the going through the motions basically, instead of the excitement or the anticipation of going out for a shoot. There was, I still had to charge batteries, I still had to pack my bag, I had to make sure everything was set, bottle of water, tripod, everything, all the normal stuff. But it didn't feel the same. But it was getting done, and I felt like it had to get done. So when I got here, there was a level of anticipation. It felt very much like the way, if you're new to landscape photography or new to vlogging, and you just think about it for so long, week after week, month after month, and you never, start the camera or the recording. It was that level of nerves in a way today. But I already feel like it's a turning point. The way it didn't feel like a turning point getting here. It felt like a turning point when I took my iPhone out of my pocket and captured that first moment of panning video that I thought was possibly going to be B-roll. And I didn't think I was going to do B-roll or anything. I wasn't going to put a lot of effort into the editing of this video. But that act of being in the moment, looking through that lens, panning, dealing with a little exposure settings, and it was there. It was the joy of creation, and just for that brief instant. And I hadn't felt that in a couple months, easy. And it was nice to feel. And so I actually recognized that. And there's another woodpecker. I stopped and took that moment in, soaked it like a sponge, and remembered and connected to all those times before. And I don't have a ton of content, but the joy connected to this whole process so far surfaced again, and that was good. That was really good. And so as I kept walking, I started looking for other opportunities to get some B-roll footage, or even some, the sun's up, so I wasn't really thinking about photographs, but just want to make sure I was still recording. Well, apparently there's a 10-minute limit on the chunks of video I can get here. Okay. So I was walking along and started thinking about being in nature and getting some B-roll clips, being in the moment, and that was important. And that's what I mean by a turning point. Taking the step to get unstuck. And I'm really lacking at words right now. My wife is a marriage and family therapist, and you pick up on some things, but sometimes you just revert back to your 8-year-old self. That buzzing is they're mowing the dam over there, so that was poor timing on my part. Here comes another walker. I'm only about 40-50 feet off the path at the water's edge. almost everybody is walking a dog here, which is awesome. And they have cabins and so forth. I'm looking at some right now. But I don't know, the problem with people walking by is I lose my train of thought. I think I was talking about the turning point moments. So I don't know if I was connecting my father passing away to anything. I think it was just a depression and I thought about this word in the car at some point, and it didn't seem the right word, but maybe a little bit of context. I am a procrastinator, big time. If my wife is watching this, yeah, she knows. Actually, a lot of people I know. But and I've also started a lot of things that I don't finish, and I don't know if that's really normal or if that's a sign of ADHD. I think it is. I think I have it, but that's another story. I've had a few entrepreneurial starts with businesses that ran a few years, never really made any money, and they were all creative exploits and other business ideas that were creative, never started. I really don't want Heavy Nature to fall victim to my habits, my procrastination. And I think the depression tied with that sense, that history, all of a sudden became a place for me not to get something done. And excuse is not the right word. Blame is not the right word at all. But I think I felt myself allowing nothing to get done, wrapped in grief. And the grief is real. It's very real. But it's not the reason. I don't want it to be the reason to stop or to not get something done. That's really, really important. And so the idea behind this video, creativity and grief, is very, very subjective, very personal. Everyone's going to handle losing somebody they love differently. And I hope this isn't the end of multiple things. It shouldn't be. And when my dad passed, I felt a lot of stress about finding a way to honor him. And I still don't know how I'm going to do that. At first I thought it was obviously doing something for my family. Like get a camper and focus more on time with my family. We all grew up camping. And then I started to think about what he enjoyed. What did he enjoy? We didn't do a lot. He worked so hard all his life. We didn't, beyond high school, there wasn't a lot of kidding around, getting to know him as a friend. I don't know if I'm using the right terms. It was always fun, those rare circumstances, if he drank too much, to see him laughing and being silly. because that wasn't his normal style. Um, but thinking back, I think in part, my love of the outdoors uh, is part of what he enjoyed. Grew up camping till maybe 13, 14 years old, and we sold our camper and bought an in-ground pool, and that was a good choice. Kept me at home, kept my friends coming over, not going out too much. Um, always played Little League, didn't do a lot of fishing, but then working for him, for that contractor, that was always, I mean, it's outdoors. It wasn't carpentry, it was road construction, sidewalks, curbing, asphalt, uh, pipelines, that kind of thing. So I was outside all the time, and so was he. And I think a lot of my appreciation of the outdoors came through that part of growing up and working outdoors. And he also loved golf, and I love golf. I do not play nearly as much as I would like. So throughout his life, he always played golf. And then at retirement, he was playing 3 or 4 times a week, which is, that was he loved it. Playing golf and betting on the dog races. So there's that love of being outdoors, feeling comfortable outdoors. I can attribute to him. And my mom, because she was part of that too. So when I talk about how I can honor my father, it's definitely by not giving up. Can you tell I'm speaking truth right now? My eyes are kind of getting a little glossy here. By not giving up, by continuing to pursue what I love to do, enjoying and valuing the time with my family, and creating experiences and memories that will last a lifetime. So if you have experienced loss, if you are feeling it now, you may not know me, but if you're watching this, there's a comment section below. If you find me on social media, you can direct message me. But if you're feeling the grief and feeling like you can't take the next step, can't get out of the hole, message me, reach out to me. If I can help one person climb out of any depression or grief that is keeping them from what they love to do, I can't ask for anything more than that. I thought somebody how can somebody be sneaking up on me? The water plays tricks. I love trains. Hopefully you made it this far. I don't know if how I'm gonna edit this. This has been, it's gonna be a 20-minute ramble, but it was extremely important for me to do this. It does feel like a turning point. I'm not gonna stop. Love you, Dad.